Well, folks, it's the end of the year. Christmas is on the horizon. It's time to talk about some rugby merch. A question which comes up not every day, not every week, but consistently enough that it sometimes is worth, I guess, answering the question. We haven't done this for a couple of years, I think. Just how many jerseys do you own anyway? I do not know. We are about to find out together. I've broken the jerseys down by competition, and we will go through them to see which teams do we have the most of here at the headquarters of 2 Cents Rugby, and yeah, who's kind of overrepresented, underrepresented, any kind of special features about any of the jerseys in particular. We'll go through the lot. You guys can let us know your thoughts. I should say a massive thank you to anybody who has ever sent a jersey. The vast majority of these jerseys, I would say, have been sent by people, which is just insane. The fact that you would send a jersey, which is not a small chunk of change, to some bloke in front of a whiteboard halfway around the world, that in itself is pretty incredible. So we're going to go through them, start with the Six Nations, end up with the kind of other category. Got a bunch of defunct teams, and yeah, you guys can let us know your thoughts. Now, before we get into the jerseys themselves, let's talk just for a second about some other kind of general rugby merchandise. Now, I get a fair few emails, like I would say at least 2 or 3 a year, about people wanting to start up rugby YouTube channels, asking for my advice. I'm certainly no expert in that field, but I feel like I've done it myself, so I can at least share my experience. And when I invested in some equipment to start a YouTube channel, the only things I bought were a whiteboard, I bought a Sharks Super Rugby jersey secondhand, and I bought a microphone. Those are the only 3 things, plus some whiteboard markers. Those are the only 3 things I bought. So that kind of fits in with the first of a few things I want to talk to you about, which I picked up on Temu the other day. Temu is a sponsor of this video, so cheers to Temu for reaching out. This is not the microphone I used when I signed up to start a YouTube channel, but I essentially bought something very similar. My old one has been kind of long since broken and chucked out, but I was essentially using a phone plugged into a microphone, and that's kind of what this does. It just plugs into your phone and you can record audio. So if you are looking to start a YouTube channel, one of the things I would suggest is you probably need to get the audio right. As I said, I was just recording off a regular old cell phone, but I was using a lavalier mic. This one is helpfully a wireless lavalier mic, and it's not greatly expensive. This one I think is even cheaper than the one that I bought when I was starting up my YouTube channel. So yeah, lav mics. It's usually kind of better if you try to hide them under something. It's kind of hard for me to hide a black microphone on this France jersey, but yeah, man, like I think it's New Zealand dollars, less than $9. So if you are looking to start a YouTube channel, I would say don't break the bank on getting all the fancy equipment first. Get yourself started with the stuff you've got available at home. You don't even need a microphone, but if you want a microphone for that slightly kind of better sound, a lav mic is generally a pretty good way to go. Temu's got them. Link down in the description for that. And all these products, which I'm about to show you, are down in the description. Hopefully you can get free shipping and you can return it within 90 days if you're not happy with it. And if you use the code DKK3598, get 30% off your order as well. So happy days for discounts. All that stuff is down in the description. What else did I pick up? Well, I don't quite have a man cave just yet. I would love to get a rugby man cave. You can probably see I'm sitting here in the living room. But this I would love. This is a tin sign, which I would love to get. It's got the Springbok on it, and it's got Bokke on it. I would love to chuck this up in a man cave. Maybe, if you know I record the podcast with Tony from Distracted Sports, he's always given the South Africans a bit of grief, so I would love to stick this up on his wall next time I go around there when he's not looking. If he doesn't watch this video, I will certainly be looking to stick that up. And also something like this. I would love this on a man cave wall. Everything will kill you, so choose something fun. A picture of some rugby. Why not, man? It kind of makes sense. But maybe my favorite in terms of the wording wise, and it's not a tin sign, it's more of like a canvas one. Footballers pretending for 90 minutes pretending you're hurt, where rugby is 80 minutes of pretending you're not. That needs to go up somewhere in the house. I sat watching the Euros with my son a couple of years ago, and one of the first things he asked me was, why is everyone rolling around on the ground? Well, that's just kind of it, son. That's kind of what they do. A couple which my wife may give me a bit of grief about, but I can't wait to start using this coffee cup. Very simple message. Sorry, can't rugby. Bye. Yeah, encapsulates many of a rugby weekend, I would imagine, especially when I'm getting up at the crack of dawn, before dawn, to watch the Six Nations and whatnot with the time zone differences. A good old rugby mug to have some coffee with, and when my wife gives me that look, I can just kind of stare into her gazy. My wife's lovely. I'm just having you on, but you know what I mean. I feel like that saves me from even having to take a second. Or if I wanted to tempt fate further and not go with the coffee cup, I could go with these socks, which I also found on Temu. A pretty simple message: do not disturb, and I'm watching rugby. So I feel like you've got your marriage sorted with some of this stuff. Another question I get asked a decent amount is, where do you get all your hats? A lot of them are printed or embroidered jobbies. This one is also from Temu. It's an embroidered kind of France hat. I like the fact that it's black, because black goes with basically everything, and it's got the kind of updated France logo compared to the jersey I'm wearing, which only has the old one. And also, I need to go to the fridge to get this one. Now, this is not an ad for drinking Clip Drift, but you South African fans have told me basically the fact that I was drinking Clip Drift Clippies without ice was essentially sacrilege. Well, ice molds. So essentially, if you want to have your ice in the shape of a rugby ball, you can do that to go along with your Clippies. Seems perfect to me. And last but not least, folks, a kit bag, man. I love bags with lots of pockets. My son goes to rugby training. He has to kind of shove his dirty boots in my car, which get bloody grass everywhere, but a nice bag with a compartment to shove your old boots in there without getting the rest of the bag kind of dirty. I don't know, chuck his rugby jersey in there, chuck his boots in there. I love lots of pockets. But yeah, folks, that's a bit of rugby merch. So some humorous stuff like the socks and like the posters, like the coffee cup, all that kind of stuff. I quite enjoy. I look forward to decorating a man cave at some point. I haven't showed my wife these socks. I am interested to see what her reaction will be. But also more practical stuff like the bag, as I said, with loads of pockets and a spot for some boots or a microphone if you're looking to get yourself some audio recorded, rugby hats, all that kind of stuff. It's all down in the description. Remember, 30% off using the code down there. Free shipping on all orders, 90-day returns. Yeah, AfterPay for your secure payment. So yeah, check out Temu. Cheers to Temu for sponsoring the video. If you want the app, get it down in the description. 30% off the entire bundle. Whatever you want to grab. But yeah, cheers. Let's have a look at some rugby jerseys. Right, we'll start with the Six Nations. You can see the three up there. I've put that one up there because it's signed by Lee Halfpenny. That's pretty sweet. And that Irish one there, which is too small for me to wear, but it is signed by a certain Irish midfielder who is rather prominent, I believe. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. One for Wales, one for Ireland. Another one for Wales, though. This is a kind of a couple of years ago, back when Wales was still with Under Armour jersey, which is pretty nice. Under Armour tends to fit a bit bigger than some of the other brands. This one's also Under Armour, which has got that kind of plasticky, scaly Wales dragon scales on it, and it's got the kind of Welsh gold thing, which is pretty sweet. So that's 3 for Wales all up, but then Ireland comes into the mix with this training jersey from, I think, a campaign or two ago. Their 2019 Rugby World Cup jersey, which is alright. The green card doesn't come out that well on the camera, but it is nicer than that. And then this is the jersey from, I think, is this the 2018 campaign? Also, the green doesn't come out on the camera, but it is pretty nice. So that's 3 for Ireland. England, also 2019 finalist. That's their jersey from the 2019 final. And then their Canterbury days also, when they had O2 on the cover. So that's 2 for England, outnumbered by the Welsh and by the Irish. Italy away jersey. I do love the Italian jerseys, man. I've always said if they could play as well as their jerseys look, they'd be the best team in the world, man. Just like embroidered stuff. Very sweet. Italy number 2. This is a home jersey from the 2019 World Cup. Again, real slick jersey with a nice collar. So 2 for the Italians. And then the Scots have got this purple jobby, which is an away one. Very distinctive. I really like that one. Their 18 jersey with the purple trims. And then their 2019 Pool of Death Rugby World Cup jersey with the tartan. So 3 for the Scots, 3 for the Welsh, 4 for the Irish, because they got that one there, and 1 for the French, which is the one I'm wearing. So in terms of the Six Nations, it is the Irish that win it out on numbers. And if I'm not mistaken, that brings us to 15 Six Nations jerseys. France, the least well represented. Moving on to the Rugby Championship sides, the 2 jerseys I've got hanging there, that's my All Blacks jersey from when I was a little fella. It's got the long sleeves. It's a very thick fabric. It's made by Canterbury. It's got the, you probably can't see it, it's got the white collar on there. There you go. Look at that white collar. So, yeah, proper old school All Blacks jersey, that one. And that South African one is the first ever rugby jersey sent to me by one of yous. So that was Willem. Sent me a rugby jersey. He was like, hey, Mark, I see you just bought yourself a Lions jersey. That was the Super Rugby team. Do you want me to send you a box jersey? And I was like, man, that's awesome. And then people just kept sending them. So, yeah, it holds a very special place. Why don't we go to the South Africans? This one, not mine. It's a kid's jersey. Maybe like a youth jersey. This one shows that you should wear rugby gear around every day, because when I used to drop my son at school every day, I still do, but I walked past this one house and this guy saw me wearing different rugby gear every day. He didn't know the channel, but he said, man, you're into your rugby. Do you want some jerseys? So he gave me this South African one, which I will give to my son when he can fit it, when he's a little bit older. So that's 1, 2 for the South Africans. And then this is their 2019 Rugby World Cup winning jersey. So I had to get that one. It's pretty sweet. I haven't managed to get my hands on the 2023 jersey, but I got 2 cents put on it, and 19 for 2019. So there you go. That's 4 South African jerseys. And the last one for the South Africans, Lions Tour jersey from that kind of COVID-affected Lions Tour 2021. Slightly different green from the other ones. But yeah, 4 Springbok jerseys. If you told me when I was wearing that jersey that one day I would own 4 Springbok jerseys, I probably wouldn't have believed you. Another one, a youth for my son when he's a bit bigger. All Blacks jersey kind of sorted out for him when he gets a bit bigger. So that's 2, 3. The 2023 one that I'm wearing. 2019 one is 4. And then this is my pre-YouTube channel All Blacks jersey from just before the 2011 World Cup. So 5 All Blacks jerseys. South Africa comes in second. The Aussies, just the one Wallabies jersey, but it is that First Nations jersey, which are certainly the best, I reckon, of the Aussie jerseys. And then just the one Pumas one as well. So the Rugby Championship comes in at 11, including 3 kind of kids jerseys. Yeah, if you want to count them. You don't have to count them, but I guess there's fewer teams in the Rugby Championship than there is in the Six Nations. Right, the other rugby jerseys outside the Six Nations and the Rugby Championship. This is a pretty huge chunk. That's the Canadian one up there. One that very close to getting lost in the post. It took about, I think, 3 months to get here from Canada, sent to me. And then that USA one from the 2011 World Cup, I bought secondhand. Likewise, this Russia one, which isn't likely to get any use anytime soon with Russia. Political situation. Not like to see any game time until that situation draws to a conclusion. Swiss rugby. That's very niche. I don't think I've ever seen the Swiss rugby team play, but I know they play in the Rugby Europe Championship, so hopefully one of these days they can push for a World Cup spot. Uruguay, 2015 jersey. I bought this one. It was the only one that I could find online. It's enormous. I could probably make a blanket out of this thing. It's like a 3XL. And then my man Mark Dumphy sent me this one. He sent me so many jerseys, it's unbelievable. Mark has been an incredible contributor jerseys-wise to this channel. So this one's much nicer. Look at the difference between 2019 and 2015. Much nicer jersey, the one I'm wearing, compared to the one I'm holding. Netherlands, also a pretty niche one. Another team that I'll have to watch at some point when the Rugby Europe Championship gets back underway. Japan, this one I bought from a second-hand shop, an op shop here in Auckland. So one of those kind of, Salvation Army shops where people get rid of all their gear. Japan jersey was found there. Portugal rugby, one of the slickest ones from the World Cup, just gone. Fiji rugby, I think their Nike kits are a bit nicer than this one. White's kind of tricky because it's pretty easy to get dirty. Romania, very niche. They got a few hidings there at the World Cup, sadly. Tonga, I think, remains the most expensive jersey I have personally ever bought. Had to get it shipped from America, and it cost me... It was over 100 and something US dollars. It was an incredible price to get that one, so still haven't forgotten about that. Prior to the World Cup in 2019. Georgia, a Canterbury one, XL, slightly on the small side. Canterbury usually pretty well fitting, but that one's a touch small. Watch me suck my gut in any time I have to wear that jersey. Chile, Umbro, very, very slick. One of the better jerseys at the World Cup, even if that jersey is just prior to the World Cup. And then Samoa. This is their newer one with Castor, with the cool kind of cultural patterns on it. And then their older one from the Rugby World Cup 2019. So, yeah, that's the other countries. I think Uruguay and Samoa lead the way with 2 apiece. All of the rest just 1. So if I'm not mistaken, we come in at 16 jerseys from other countries outside the Six Nations. And, and the old Rugby Championship. Let's get into some club jerseys, folks. Right, Super Rugby, the competition that I was brought up on as a child. Some of the games I would have been watching as a child. That style, the very old school Blues jersey. This one was given to me by a different Mark here in NZ. Went to see him down just south of Auckland. Yeah, he had that in storage. So proper old school Blues jersey in very, very good nick. And I got a signed Waratahs jersey there as well. You might not be able to see that well, but if I move the whiteboard out the way, look at that. I won it in a competition. Facebook is good for one thing. It is competition. So there you go. Blues. I'm wearing Blues. This is a Blues one from a few years ago. I think back in the John Kerwin days. This one, it's in pretty bad nick. I don't know if you can see all this plasticky stuff has just had it. But Blues. Blues 1, Blues 2, Blues 3. This one I'm wearing is one that I realised you could sometimes order jerseys from the UK cheaper than you could to get them to buy them in New Zealand locally. And then Blues with the big NIB, which thankfully for the coming season is going. Not the green anymore. They're still going to have NIB, but the green blob is going. So 4 Blues jerseys. Chiefs just the one. Chiefs jerseys tend to be pretty slick. Hurricanes also just the one. Tend to be a bit swirly-whirly as Hurricanes. Crusaders, the team that I did not like much at all as a child. 2 of you. Since they've changed their logo. I haven't got one with the new logo just yet, but I prefer the old one, I think. But then again, I tend to be able to detach myself from political conversations pretty easily. I'm just about the rugby. So Highlanders, just the one. A few years ago, that jersey. Waratahs, I have, interestingly, 3, because I bought this one. And then the competition I won, it had the signed jersey and a non-signed jersey. So Waratahs, everyone's favourite team in Australia, 3 jerseys. The red's just the one from back when their jersey was actually red more than a maroon. The Rebels, one of their very old school jerseys. I think, is that their original one? It'd have to be close to it. Brumbies, their jersey never changes a heck of a lot. It's kind of harder to tell which year a jersey is from, but just the one from them. Now keep an eye on these Force jerseys, because the Force logo goes different ways. This is the Force logo from when they were in Global Rapid Rugby. And I think the logo still goes this way, to the left. But when they were in Super Rugby before they got kicked out, the logo went to the right. So yeah, look at that. 2 Force jerseys. Moana Pacifica, this is their inaugural jersey. It's pretty sweet, but geez, do we have a lot of teams in blue in Super Rugby. And same with the Fijian Drua. Also blue. The Blues are blue. The Drua are blue. Moana Pacifica is blue. The Rebels are blue. The Force are blue. The Waratahs are blue. Blue, blue, blue. There is a lot of blue in Super Rugby. So if I'm not mistaken, that's 19 jerseys for Super Rugby. Although some of the URC ones are old South African teams when they were in Super Rugby, but I'm counting them towards URC because that is where those teams play at the minute. Right, URC, this lot feels the heaviest. I've got that Sharks one up there because that's the first one I bought when I decided I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to wear jerseys from the different teams. I want to respect the teams that win, and I love the Sharks. I always wanted them to win Super Rugby because they'd lost a few finals. So the Sharks, and that Leinster one is another one of the signed ones that's certainly going to go up in a frame at some point. If I ever get myself a man cave, I'm wearing a pink Bulls jersey, which I remember just being really iconic in how striking it was in terms of its design. Other Sharks jerseys, a very old school Mr. Price one, which is, despite the fact that it's an XL back in the day was apparently a lot slimmer. We must have gotten bigger because it doesn't fit like an XL. And then a much more recent version of the Sharks jersey. It's a 2XL, but it's probably like, I don't know, 3 or 4 sizes bigger than that old grey one. So 3 Sharks jerseys. A Lions jersey. I like this one. I preferred the all red one the year before it, but the red hoops is pretty cool. It is pretty cool because it's got a lion on the back. Can you see it? That's pretty cool. So old school Lions jersey back when they were a proper unit of a team. But just the one Lions jersey. Bulls jersey number 2. And Bulls jersey number 3. The Bulls have had some good ones. This one may be my favourite. I don't know. It was a pretty good Bulls team that was wearing this jersey back in the old Super Rugby days when the Bulls was either just after they'd won their title or maybe one of the years they won one of their 3 titles, Super Rugby. Super Rugby, it is Super Rugby in terms of the Stormers, but yeah, Stormers blue jersey and a Stormers black jersey back when they had Adidas as their manufacturer, so 2 for them behind the Bulls and the Sharks. Zebra, my daughter's favourite one in this collection with a rainbow zebra on it. Just the one. Benetton, another one of the Italian teams. Just the one. Glasgow Warriors with their old logo. Just the one. Edinburgh. Always have very slick jerseys, actually. Macron do nice collars. Home jersey and away jersey. Edinburgh, very, very kind of slick. I reckon among my favourite of the URC team's designs. Scarlets. I think this jersey probably has more sponsors on it than any other one team. This is back from the Pro 14 days. Likewise, the Dragons one has got a few sponsors and some dragon scales on at the bottom, which is pretty slick. Ospreys, this is a proper old school one. Speaking of sponsors, changed logo since then. Very heavy. This is probably the thickest of the jerseys, given how old school that one is. Cardiff, I'm just a sucker for these colour jerseys, man. Pink one. Yeah, I don't have a blue Cardiff jersey, but back when they were known as Cardiff Blues rather than just Cardiff. Munster, team that this is the jersey they won their championship in with the old URC. Much older school Munster jersey. I think this is Doug Howell at Rowan Nogara days. Proper old school Munster. Connacht, as the Irish teams continue, it's one of their, I think there was a Challenge Cup jersey back in the day. And then they're more kind of striking green. The green doesn't come out as good on the camera, but it is nice. Leinster, which I think this one was the first ever European club rugby team ever sent. That was by Mark. He's a big Leinster man. Sent half these jerseys and also sent an away kit for Leinster. They're kind of purple. And then, was it purple? And then Ulster as well. I used to wear this one a lot until I went somewhere and got a stain on it, and I spent a long time cleaning it, and then I don't really wear the white jerseys out that much socially anymore. So I think it's the Bulls and the Sharks with 3 who I was collected, plus Leinster, the signed one, which I don't wear, and then the white and the purple ones. There you go, URC 26. I don't see that number being topped, but we've still got a few to go. Premiership jerseys, I think Bath, was the first one I ever got from the Premiership, so that holds a bit of a special place in the heart. That Exeter jersey, that purple, it's the old logo, Exeter. They've since changed that. Speaking of a little bit of a controversy, but that's the one they won the Champions Cup in a few years ago, and that's Leicester Tigers jersey when they were absolutely terrible. Newcastle Falcons, very slick. I love a black jersey, so what can I say? They're not doing too well this year, as I record this, sadly. Gloucester, back before they changed their logo to something a little bit more modern. I kind of like the old style coat of arms. Northampton, I try not to wear this jersey because it's a match jersey. Match jerseys are really fitting and stretchy, so You got any flab on your body, you will see it all if you're wearing a match jersey. Exeter, this is their kind of regular jersey rather than the European jersey. Again, with the kind of old logo. Quins, basically the same as all those Super Rugby jerseys I showed earlier, and the lens, the jerseys from that same generation of Adidas, where they basically put the same jersey out with just different designs on them. Anyway. Sail Sharks. Made by Samurai, which is pretty rare. I think that's the only Samurai one I've got. And then Saracens with an interesting little, they got humility, discipline, honesty, work rate. I remember I bought this before they got busted for the salary cap thing, so the honesty one kind of seemed a bit ironic. So yeah, there you go. Premiership, a lot more straightforward than some of the other comps because it's reduced in size in recent times. So 10 jerseys for the Premiership, but I will give you a spoiler that we have some defunct clubs in the other section to come shortly. Top 14, the competition that everyone tells me I need to watch more of, but sadly at the moment anyway, is not broadcast here in India. I got the La Rochelle jersey on. First top 14 jersey I ever bought it myself. Back before they were a big European powerhouse. I think I bought it largely because it was on special, but because they were also kind of trending in the right direction. Toulouse, obviously a very big side in French rugby. Likewise, Toulon. Both of those, logos have got a few stars above their jerseys logo for a reason. Who else have we got? Racing 92. Pretty sure this is the only Le Coq Sportif jersey I've got. Seems to be made pretty well. It seems very nice fabric. Who else have we got? We got Lyon. This is a really, really light jersey. It's made by Macron, but they've used a different fabric for this one. It is incredibly thin. We've also got Montpellier. I had to get this one because it's like it could hypnotize you. It is, I think that's the Aaron Cruden days when he was playing for Montpellier. Very kind of busy at the front. Clermont, maybe not having their best time at the moment. At least they're not in the Champions Cup this year anyway. I like the fact that it says Yellow Army on the collar. That's pretty cool. Why they have English on a Clermont jersey? I'm not sure. Maybe they knew they were sending it to a New Zealander who doesn't speak French. Stade Francais, another one of the, look at that sunlight. Very thin jerseys. They tend to do a few interesting designs to the Stade Francais guys. A little bit less kind of out there as Bordeaux. Really nice kind of checker pattern. And then we've got another Toulon jersey. That one was a European one. This is a more kind of domestic league one. And then another Toulouse jersey. Now this one is one of the few examples where I got bitten by buying secondhand online because it's really small. The size they listed online was not the correct size. I could have returned it, but I was like, oh well, it was really cheap. I can always hang it in the background. Way, way, way too small for me to wear. But there you go. So Toulouse, Toulon, with a couple of jerseys each for the top 14. So 11 jerseys for the top 14. So not quite 14 jerseys for the top 14, but there you go. MLR in America. Right, MLR. We've got Old Glory DC up there. Very American jersey with the stars and stripes. Dallas Jackals. My mate Keith, who runs the Fair Weather Rugby Fan YouTube channel. He's a big Jackals fan. And we're in the San Diego Legion jersey that old Chris Robshaw wore. Here's another San Diego Legion jersey. Every single one of these jerseys was sent to me by a guy named Alan, so a big MLR guy. There's a few of the defunct jerseys in this pile as well. Well, to come in the other pile. But yeah, another San Diego one. So 3 San Diego Legion jerseys. This one, if you remember it from before, Nola Gold, it's New Orleans. Is this one jersey or is it 2? It's gold. But then you can, why don't more teams do this? Flip it out the other way. And now you've got the away jersey. It's white. It is the same team. 2 for 1 in the jerseys. The New England Free Jacks, who's Tony's favourite. Tony from Distracted Sports, that's his favourite MLR team. 2 of them from the Free Jacks. Old Porter Heyman's Sabercats from Houston. And then the Utah Warriors. Go the Warriors, but this time it's the MLR team. 1, 2, and 3. Interestingly, they play up in the mountains in Utah, so they are one of another sides that plays at altitude. And then the old Seattle Seawolves won the first 2 MLRs back to back. So got stars above their jersey as well with the old Seattle skyline. So MLR, It's having a few issues at the moment, but fingers crossed the competition can bounce back after a couple of the clubs have folded. 13 MLR jerseys. That's more than the top 14 or the Premiership. So that's pretty crazy. You could say 13.5 if you want to include the NOLA one, which can kind of flip inside and out. And finally, the other pile. Right, the other pile. I'm wearing the Juarez jersey from back when they were in Super Rugby. I think I bought this jersey when I got 100 subscribers to celebrate. So, yeah, it was a real big thing. Back from a guy sitting on the floor in front of a whiteboard to get a Juarez jersey. Had to ship it from Argentina. It was pretty expensive. I seem to remember. Wasps, one of the defunct teams, sadly. And then Auckland from the NPC, which is the team pre-Super Rugby I supported as a child. So I certainly went to more Auckland games than any other team during my childhood because, as I said, Super Rugby didn't exist. North Harbour jersey, also playing the NPC against Auckland. Remember I told you that guy hit me up on the street and said, do you want a free rugby jersey because you're always in rugby gear? He also gave me this Harbour jersey alongside that box one. Also Canterbury. This is another kind of one of the three NPC teams I've got, but I mean, there's plenty of other NPC teams here in NZ. Bit of doubt about that competition going forward. The Cheetahs, back from when they were in Super Rugby. They were in Super Rugby Unlocked, and more recently in the Challenge Cup, plus the Curry Cup. So Cheetahs jersey. British and Irish Lions from the 2021 COVID-affected tour. And then, this is a bit smaller. I can't fit this one, but that's from the tour before that. Another one of the defunct Super Rugby teams would be the Sunwolves. Yeah, they were the Japanese reps. A lot of those Japanese guys who did well, have been stalwarts. There's two Sunwolves jerseys there for the Japanese team in the past few years. Got a lot of time with the Sunwolves. I think it was overall a pretty beneficial project, even if it didn't last. These guys pulled out of the MLR, the Colorado Raptors. They're still around, but they don't play in the MLR anymore. These guys, the Austin Herd, ended up becoming these guys, the Austin Gilgronis, before they went out of business. So another one of the defunct teams from the MLR. Sadly, these guys went bust recently once their owner passed away, the Toronto Arrows in the MLR. And the most recent of the MLR teams, one of the former champion teams, Rugby New York. That's their first one. And then Rugby New York, their second one. Those guys went defunct. So sadly for them. Another one is Rugby ATL, also from the MLR. These guys moved, so they're on their way to LA. The franchise relocated as to what happens in American sports. Then Namibia. Why isn't this in the international pile? I thought it was an international jersey. It is massive. It's the only one I could find. It's 2XL. I absolutely swim in this jersey. But it's actually a Curry Cup jersey. It's not an international jersey. It doesn't have the eagle. It's got the Namibian rugby logo thingy there. So, yep. And last one. The last one. No more jerseys. I don't think any more floating around. London Irish. Another one of the teams that sadly went bust. This one was one of the jerseys worn by one of the players, actually. Lucas Brook, son of a particular Zinzan Brook. So, yes. There you go. That's the other pile. That's the last one. So if I'm not mistaken, 19 jerseys there brings us to 140 jerseys. Nobody tell my missus, please. Although a couple of them are kids' jerseys. So you could argue they're not really mine. They are for the children. But yes, I like rugby. Rugby jerseys are cool. They're a cool thing to collect. I was collecting them, not to this degree, but prior to having a YouTube channel. I love being able to rep the teams of the teams that have done well, be it club or country, even if that means wearing England or Australia, which people give me the most grief about, or wearing a team like South Africa after they've just beaten an All Blacks in a World Cup final. I don't know, rugby is a pretty cool game, I think, across the board for the most part for its values. I know they blow their own trumpet about the values a lot, and there's certainly nothing's perfect, but yeah, compared to some other sports, I think rugby's all right like that. So, yes. You guys let me know if you've got any particular rugby jerseys that you treasure. What's your favorite one? Like I said, I like this Juarez one because it was so early on in the channel and it was a bit of a mission to find, and it's a really nice design. It feels great. It feels like $1 million. The old school ones, like the old Auckland one and the old Blues one, the signed ones, those are all pretty cool. But yeah, hopefully that answers the question. How many jerseys have you got for the next year or two? And yes, you guys take care and enjoy your holidays. I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.